And boy, this was the moment and moments of the night for me.
Oh my
was
gosh.
The most highly anticipated part of Dynamite that I did not want to miss no matter what. This was it, man. I have a lot to say about this, man. Finally, Judas is back in his original form. And of course they show, I'm a tunnel guru. The babyface tunnel. The boys are back. The men are back in black.
Back in black, baby.
All black, biker style gear. The scruff, man. We are still buzzing like big time from last week with the Inner Circle. And Jericho, you talk about two of the best in the mic in AEW. Obviously, MJF and Jericho are names that you cannot leave out. Period. And MJF had his jabs, and Jericho finally. I don't know. That was like a 5 to 8 minute promo.
He was on a rant.
He did not miss a beat. He stayed relevant. He stayed, to me, at the edge of my seat. Oh my gosh, he called the Pinnacle the pineapple.
I like that.
I loved how he just tied in so many different things. He obviously is such a professional, telling the crowd on our side, really hinting, pushing the babyface turn.
Oh yeah.
He actually apologized. The beatdown was a wake-up call. I don't know how many times he said that MJF was his jerk-off friend, the jerk-off, this. So, the one line that really stood out was that he's not taking him under his wing. He's keeping him under his thumb. Mm-hmm. And that was like a very, very smart line by Jericho. And, I've been saying it for week in and week out, MJF's orange spray tan. And finally Jericho calls him out with the spray tan, how he's got the orange rings in the toilet, with his swirly. Boy, oh boy, was Jericho on fire. And you know what? I think we should put a poll out there on Twitter. Maybe let this kind of digest a little, but of who threw stronger jabs, MJF or Jericho, when you combine the promos. Like, who do you think is winning this mic drop promo battle right now? And man, I don't know. I have to think about it. Both guys are absolutely. I'm a huge Jericho fan. You're an MJF Max. You're a Max, not a Mark anymore.
I'm a Max. Yeah, I'm a Max.
But JR said it great because it was an immortal promo by Jericho, and
no doubt.
Unfortunately, like I said before, I had tickets to Blood and Guts in New Jersey. It would have been 2 Marches ago. Now we're going to get Blood and Guts on May 5th so soon, and it's almost too soon. We don't want we don't want them to go head to head, and it won't be the end. But oh my gosh, what did you
remember? Just remember, May 5th is about a month from now. A lot's going to happen between now and then, right? We know AEW packs a lot of content in every single episode. You know that these guys, you combine that and what they do on social media, we're going to have plenty of content that's going to get us just chomping at the bit to see these guys go at each other. That said, SPD, I hear you, man. I feel like Blood and Guts could be one of those where that could be like a blow off to this feud. And I'm not ready for the Pinnacle versus Inner Circle to just be over with in a month's time. I feel like this one is something that could lead into the summer. Certainly, what I think they should do is obviously have those two factions go to war. But as we get to see next week, we're going to see Jericho against Dax. We've talked about this at Dynamite Download countless times. These two factions, the matchups that you can have, the pairings that you could have between talents, there's a lot that still needs to come out of this. We need to see Santana Ortiz versus FTR. We need to see that. I personally feel like the way that this has been going, a Sammy versus MJF match at some point would be very cathartic. And that's not to mention Jericho versus MJF. There's just a lot of options and a lot of chess pieces that can be moved around. We know that MJF is the ultimate. Like we've talked about it a long time ago. It feels like MJF is playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. The guy is always manipulating and moving things to get into his, to strategically get things aligned for his benefit.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Max is going to have a couple things up his sleeve. And I want to see this play out as much as possible on AEW moving forward. With Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, that feud sort of taking a little bit of a backseat as Thunder is getting more, more in tune and more acclimated to NWA. Now that NWA Power's back, you see that, obviously Britt continues to throw her jabs at Thunder, no doubt, keeps it fresh in our minds. but there is a place that has opened up a big spot on the card for another huge feud, and this one is filling that void and then some. The Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle is fantastic, back and forth, and as you talked about, just the segments alone with these interviews and these punches that they're throwing, verbal jabs at each other, man, it's just on point. I'd be interested to see what the fans have to say. I have a feeling that after Jericho's epic rant tonight, he's going to have the lead. Obviously,
let's
Jericho
do a poll tomorrow with our highlight video of this. A clip of this, like who threw better jabs, who is leading the promo battle on this, man. I like I said on Friday Night Flights of Fights, give us two dice, roll them.
Yeah, dice. Yeah,
match, I'll be happy with it. That can main event the show.
Absolutely.
Any of those guys, and so this needs to be extended. Obviously the Ultimate War. Then I guess you're like it could just lead into more feuds. Like if someone really puts down someone else, then maybe they can some more singles matches. But you have to have these two teams going head to head every single week leading up to this. And we're going to talk just everything Inner Circle right now. Mike Tyson coming to the aid of Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
When Tyson got announced, I was obviously the last time we saw him was face to face with Jericho and throwing punches with each other. And so it was a nice full circle. Jericho kind of, saying thank you and, making up, but like Tyson coming to the aid after a brutal, pile driver from FTR and potential through the table. So I was hoping Tyson would get in MJF, but Spears had to settle for being the sacrificial lamb essentially.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect the Pinnacle to be there tonight.
Well,
so
I mean, and here's the
surprise.
thing: when we look at the content, right, of what we're talking about, this is why I'm rocking my MJF shirt tonight, man. I got to give MJF his props, man. He talked about he's
probably watching right now, like Jericho said, checking in the back.
He's a max for himself. The content of what these guys talked about, I give the edge to the Pinnacle. I give the edge to MJF only because when you look at what they say and how they deliver it, Max said it, man. After the beatdown that the Pinnacle gave the Inner Circle, he kept taunting Jericho and crew and told him, if that happened to us, we'd be right back here, right in your face the next week, getting our revenge. The Inner Circle got beat down badly. I mean, we saw Dax just an absolutely epic cut on his head from that beating that Santana gave him in that one. Obviously, MJF got busted through a Pepsi machine. And they came back. They came back for more. So I got to give Pinnacle their props for that, for being, the heels. They easily could revert to being cowards. Could hide and play mind games, but they didn't. These guys are not backing down from a fight. They're here to prove a point. They want to knock the Inner Circle off the top of the mountaintop. They want to be at that point. They want to be at the top. So I got to give those guys props. There were a couple moments in Jericho's promo where I was like, man, I mean, I'm a fan of FTR, so I was like kind of getting a little. I was like, dude, come on, Dax versus Cash. Like, we've seen it. Dax has definitely been making some strides in 2021. Ever since the calendar has been flipped, he's really been killing it. I felt like the difference between these when I go back and watch them is, MJF, he stuck to something that I tend to, and there's different ways you can cut a promo, but I tend to think that, like, if you build up your opponent and recognize their strengths, it makes it when you beat them, it makes you that much better. And so MJF throughout his promo, his promo work, he definitely, I don't know, he spent a little bit more time, I feel like, recognizing, putting a little more respect on his opponents, and then building up his own team to be better than them. Right. Whereas Jericho kind of did the classic babyface thing, kind of making comedy jokes and cutting down the opponents and making little zingers and one-liners that are funny and have us reeling. I thought that the spray tan one was one of my favorite lines of the night. But
I kept saying it time and time again, and it was so great that it was noticed globally as well.
Yep, no doubt, dude, no doubt. I think that this one has got a lot of potential to it, and it was great to see a fired up Jericho again. I mean, he was out there. He looks slimmer. He looks good with the facial hair. He's looking like on point with that. Santana and Ortiz. I mean, the whole crew was looking badass tonight. So if you're an Inner Circle fan, which I know you are, SPD, you have to be excited to see them reestablished, treated as the top stars that they are. Yeah. And it's nice to see a little babyface team put together here. I mean, so often stables factions are usually heel based. It's nice to see the Inner Circle have some babyface vibes to them. I think that's going to go a long way. We've talked about it for countless times. I mean, Sammy Guevara is somebody who is a natural babyface. We've said it time and again. That guy's offense, just his overall presentation screams babyface to me. And then Santana Ortiz and the way that those guys kind of scrap and claw, always never really seem to get that opportunity to get put over the top and be treated as a top tag team that we know that they are. True. They kind of have those babyface vibes to them too. And I know that there's a lot of fans of Dynamite Download out here too that are on the same page as us, that they were chomping at the bit to see Santana Ortiz get that win against the Bucks earlier this year.
We were screaming for it.
Right. So it's I think this is a natural transition for the Inner Circle, especially with such easy guys to hate across from them. This is going to make some good TV, man.
That's absolutely for sure. And we could talk a whole episode on the Inner Circle, but